In this video what we're going to do is to try and show you how to add an extra item onto your main form that you may have forgotten in a previous setup of the table of the form, and you don't want to go back and start the whole thing again, and that happens to all of us. So what we're going to do this time is to show you how to add a checkbox onto this main form, so that if you do want to display something that is a yes/no value from one of the tables, then we can show you how to do it. It's quite a lengthy process, just complex but not particularly complicated. So what I'm going to do first of all is to go back into design view here, close that form down, and go into my tables, and I'm going to choose my reservations table. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another field here called loyalty, and this is going to signify whether a customer has been to the restaurant or not before. And I'm going to make that a Boolean field, a yes/no field, and obviously that's something that can be displayed as a checkbox on the form. So I'm going to save the table, open up that table. I'm going to make the first of my reservations there a loyalty one, and the second one actually isn't. That'll just let us see whether this was working or not a bit later on. So that needs to now appear on the form. So if I bring the reservations form up in design view, we're going to represent it by having a checkbox, and let's just pop that checkbox on there. There we go, just randomly throw that on. And what we'd like to do is to allocate that checkbox to that particular field, but unfortunately what we haven't got is that field anywhere allocated to this form. So the first thing we have to do is to add that field to the form, and we can do that by clicking up here, and that little black dot appears. Then bring up the properties of the form. We get this huge, great big long statement here under record source. Now that's the source of all of the data that is going to be displayed on the form. We can easily add another one by clicking on the little dots at the end, scrolling across until we find a blank area, and now we're going to enter the field that we want to appear. Now it's from our reservations table, and I know that it's the loyalty field, so that's pretty straightforward to do that. Tell it to close down and answer yes to saving that. So all of that information now is just close down the properties. Obviously we can edit this now and make that say loyalty like that instead of checkbox, whatever it happened to be. So if I quickly run that particular one, you can see that we've got an on-off checkbox there, but as yet we haven't made whatever we tick in there store in the table under loyalty. So let's go back into design view. It's fairly straightforward to do that. Go and click on our little checkbox, bring up the properties, and it says again control source. What field are we going to allocate to that? Drop down the little list, and hopefully somewhere near the bottom is loyalty. And again I can close down the properties, save that one, and then run it. And what we should be able to see now is that as I go through the two records, you can see that one of them has a loyalty tick and the other one doesn't, and I can make that one loyalty as well. So now we have both of them are stored as loyalty. And if I now go back to the table that was storing that information, if we go into reservations, we can now see that both of those now have loyalty. So that's a way of adding a new field to a table, and also to add that field to a form and make it interactive there.